Hey there, and welcome back to Trainwreck, an educational monster train series where we target around 200 Pact Shards. Back at it again, making good progress on things. We had a very excellent, was it a Burnout Rector run last time? But it was all in on Harvest specifically, so yes, I had to think about this a bit because I couldn't actually remember the run, and my notes are extremely short. But we had we had a rail beater in the back and some very, very tiny barons, which were tanking and building up harvest, scaling from a remnant host that was on lock and on endless. The rail beater in the back had multi-strike from I believe it was a horned warrior infusion, and yeah, it was good. We were pumping some rituals into him. I called them. This is my brain doing a fun thing where it likes to combine words together. In that particular moment, you may have noticed I combined the word rage and ritual together to rage tools, which is not a real word, but my brain likes to do that. Anyway, I used Ritual of Battle to provide rage to my rail beater. It's a tongue twister and a half. Today, I guess we get to move on and play Chief. Is it so? Is it possible? I suppose it is. So, all right, here we go. Is that real? I think it is actually quite real. So, I won't say no to that. Let me just verify real fast. Something about this feels like it's wrong, but I need to make sure. Yeah, no, it was Rector. So if that was Rector, then yeah, we're playing Chief. All right, let's do it. So as always, do like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's click the buttons and play the game. This is a Trainwreck episode, but Chief is pretty well suited for Trainwreck, so I'm not upset about it. Hope you're all doing well. I've been doing a lot of recording today, made some good progress. I need to keep it up because I need to catch up a little bit on my backlog. I used to be operating from a week of extra recordings, but because of recent trips and things, I've fallen behind. I now have no extra recordings, and I am recording for the week itself. This means that you get more recent updates from me, I suppose, but it also means that if I miss a day for some reason, or I fall behind, or something happens that would prevent me from recording, I suddenly no longer have episodes for days. So I need to do better and get a little bit ahead. And that's what we're trying to do today. So let's make it happen. Today we are default Wurmkin, Exile, Umbra. It's fine. This is fine. Anything that's not a unit is fine with Chief. We're going to be facing Plating Seal Daedalus. What is this? Curse Arcus? Sure is. And then Sap Seraph. Something about Arcus's names, Shadow and such, it's just a little difficult for me to piece together which is which. But, so I always have to look and just make sure. But yeah, and then Sap Seraph, of course. We are starting with Hosting Kin and Tumbra Assault Return Soul. Cool, I like it. Excuse me, as I did manage to catch that sneeze and not actually sneeze into the audio, into the microphone, but woof, that came on suddenly. Yikes. Anyway, what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted by my own bodily processes is that Return Soul is great because it allows me to convert these other cards into purple cards for Chief, which is quite excellent. So that's great news. Nothing else really to say here, so let's get into it. Alright, temples today are 2, 4, 5, 7. 4 temples means we have to take pretty much everything. We can skip some things depending on how many dupes we walk into. Speaking of dupes, there's a removal dupe magic side on 8, fantastic. Steel with Vortex on 7, magic randomly on 7 competing. Sure, Steel Shop's much better there. There is a money Vortex Horde in the middle Trinket Shop on 6, which is very good for Wurmkin. Competes with a Magic Cave. There is no steel here, so okay, keep that in mind. No magic on 5. Sure, but we have a good steel shop with a Vortex. The other side does have Cave Hellvent. That's pretty decent too. And then, yeah, Magic Steel on 4. So I think with this spread, yeah, we get no doubles in the early game. A pretty competently nice Ring 4 on terms of the shops available. We have Vortex plus Steel Shop. It's good. Magic Shop plus Umbra Banner if we need it for some reason. And then early game, yeah, Hellvent on 3 with nothing special. I think the Wurmkin Banner Horde is going to be stronger here on 3, but we'll see. Steel Shop has a forced Umbra Banner on 2, which is not great, but it does lean me a little bit towards Decayer if we see it. Jackstrip's Pyrestone Housing. How interesting. The tough thing to piece out here is I don't like early Pyrestone Housings. It's strong, but at the same time, we don't know enough about this run. It doesn't take much for this to become useful. Meanwhile, Jackstrips provides a lot of immediate value and provides value throughout the run. It also means we don't have to really play bottom floor if we don't want to, even with Decayer. I'm just going to take Jackstrips. I think this does more work than it gets credit for. Alright, we'll take the Horde here as well. Guild Marker early I do like since we have something direct. Refined Void is fine. Shade Lamp, these might get in my way. They could get in my way. It will be strong early, and if I am actually forced into an Umbra Banner, it could be the morsel generation I need. I actually think I should take the Shade Lamp. They could get in the way, but I can feed them to stuff. Let's click Shade Lamp here. I am leaning a bit towards, yeah, Decayer. I'm going to take Decayer for sure. Infector is competing. I don't think it's a good Infector setup. We don't have immediate Wurmkin banners. Take the unit draft here. Should be pretty safe. Okay. Now with this in mind, I'm going to Chief middle here. I'm going to go ahead and pop a dude downstairs for the Excavator into a Train Steward up top and begin reaping there. Great. I'm going to go ahead and pop a friend downstairs. Tons of morsels here. It's good. I'm going to go ahead and put another Steward upstairs. I'm going to pop the friend downstairs. Take some stats here. Should be okay. A lot of me playing stuff, but nothing too crazy. Top floor clears itself. Mid floor will also be good to go. Yeah, he's gone. Great work. Cool. Let's play Miner up top. Everything else here will plink. Great. Tons of stuff happening here, which is fun. It's actually pretty decent. We put this down here and we're doing alright. Reap this man. I'm going to go ahead and bring back a Fracture. Push another 12. Should be a confident victory here. Right? Yeah, he's gone. Great work. Guy's super dead. Okay, good. I like it. Purple Shelter, I think, is fantastic. We'll just click that. No offensive scaling there. Worth keeping that in mind. We have enough pings with Fractures, Antumbra Assaults, Hostingkins, Space Prism. I'll take it. Sure. You never know when that could be it. Glare Minder is an interesting choice. One thing I'm always considering is I could do Chief with a morsel line on the floor is doable. And then you just pump crazy numbers in. Collector is pretty good with this. I've done this before. You do need extra space. We have a Space Prism, which is good. Glare Minder is a good unit, but I actually think with Decayer you can go all in. So let's take... Who is this? This is... I lean towards Warden. I like it more because a lot of things hit like trucks. Let's take the Warden, actually. Realize I just skipped to Glare Minder. It's fine. I'm going to be going to the Steel Shop here. He can also take a multi-strike if he sees it, which is useful. I'm going to give him a damage shield 3 out of the gate. We're going to chill on that, I think. The Umbra banner says Morsel Maker, Shadow Eater. Don't want either of them. We'll need to take some stuff here. Spell Chain. 10 in Piercing. Well, I can 10 in Piercing and Antumbra Assault, which is acceptable. And I can Spell Chain the Space Prism, which is a good lineup here. Now we're up at 40, but I do feel okay about it, so let's go ahead and move on here. Yes, I'm going to save that slot in case we see a multi-strike or something. Alright, what do we get? Mark of Invasion, I have Jack Strips, it's free. Cool. With that in mind, I'm actually going to play top floor here with everyone present. Play everything out here. We do stop some of this damage. Guy drops, okay. I would like... I'm going to take the tons of morsel generation. My morsels are actually kind of outrageous here. Let's plink. Okay, that's a good plink, because it means I can direct this elsewhere, because now we have a Jack Strips coming in. So that's cool. Pop the guy downstairs. I don't even know what to do with these morsels. I guess I'm going to leave them. We generate a lot in terms of... actually... Here we go. Get him. Get him. Get him. It's fine. We generate a lot of morsels, is what I was trying to say. Like, and when I say a lot of morsels, I mean it's actually, like, a lot of morsels. We generate a truckload of them. So, that's interesting to me. Blast this guy downstairs. I see morsels, extra morsels. I'm going to go ahead and play the shelter here. Just play these morsels out. We managed to clear the floor. It's good. Okay, we pop this guy in front, generate 4 morsels. Wow, 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 wow. Play a bunch of guys down here. It's fine. I'm going to break his damage shield. Sure. Our front guy easily clobbers this. Not even really a chance here. They're not going to live. It's fine. Okay, is this enough to win? Maybe. 2 space. I might need some trickery here, like Shroud Mitosis or something, but it's not bad. Purple Hosting Kin. I don't need a 3rd one. I will grab Bounding Echoes. It's good. Perils? Perils of Production. If it were purple, maybe. What if I take an extra Space Prism? Sure, actually. I could take an extra one of those. And then here we go to the left. Looking for an infusion, looking for a good horde. Pyre Wall is going to provide value here. It's better than Boon of the Blacksmith. Shard Soul Carver is a viable infusion, I think. Sure. Yeah, we're already inspiring. Let's do it. I'm going to be looking for a multi-strike. X5. Well, I mean, not really, but I will X1 the Space Prism. Is there an X5 that's good? No, but a single dupe for free on the Space Prism is nice. Take this money, move on. That's a decent pickup. We have a lot of space actually now, which with reasonable density. So yeah, like look at this. So the interesting thing about it, I find, is that it does mean that we can play a lot of stuff on a floor, which is good, right? It's really good, in fact. I can actually play as many things on the floor as I have on the floor, which is both surprising and great news. Here, have 3 more morsels. We actually managed to fit this all together. I'm gonna pop this guy. Alright, great. Now, remember, our main source of damage is actually this whole situation. AKA the boss getting killed by Reap. So let's make sure to actually play Reap. Play, Reap, cards, generate purples. Mid-floor, not looking great, but let's ping a bit. Seems okay. We'll get no morsels through on this one. There's one actually that'll live. That's nice. But you can see the Reap will do a lot of work here, and that's great. Cool. Good. And then the plan is that the guy in front wins Relentless, right? That is the entire goal here. So, or is at least why we're playing it this way. Guy walks up, dies to Jack Strips, fantastic. We just get to freely buff. Guy's already dead. Here's a train. Here's basically a train steward. But we're going to keep playing it. We're not really getting any scaling. We don't have the Shard Soul Carver infused. It's okay. We have like 15 of everything else. It's fine. We'll do 1 billion damage here. Play a dude in front. Blam it. Great news. Man does die. But that's okay. Doesn't even get through damage shields. It's slow, but it is consistent. Okay, sure. That's a victory. Kindle, Umbra Stone. It's unlikely we get this guy to a damage point. Well, we might. Symphony of a Soul does benefit him. Kindle? I don't know what I'm kindling. It's hard to skip an Umbra Stone. I guess I'll grab that. Alloyed Construct. It's multi-strike, if I'm being clear with you. It's not a very safe multi-strike, but it is one. And I don't have a better infusion right now, so I think I am going to take this. Although we could go Morsel Master, which is not bad. Or I could go Carver, which I like more, but it does take up more space. So the problem with the Carver is you pretty much have to hit intrinsic or take space. So I think we're going to grab the Alloyed Construct, and we're going to play this with card draw here. Yeah, I'll take card draw here, and we can make our decision based on what we see. We go left, of course. If you have multi-strike, this gives us a decision. Endless is shaky. If you see an intrinsic, there is an intrinsic here. That's fantastic. That opens up big space prism energy, which I really appreciate. Plus 30, I guess I'll make this Antumbra Assault a weapon. So with that in mind, I feel good about making him big, right? Let's re-roll this. Large Stone is bad. We're going to see another Steel Shop, which is good. I'm going to keep the Alloyed Construct. We're not going to cut him. Not yet, anyway. But the infusion is decided here. We're going Shard Soul Carver. This plays nicely. Gives him some defense. We have to hit the multi-strike, but we have good chances at it. And because of the intrinsic, this is not a problem. We're going to go ahead and take Decayer. Our strategy is bottom floor for Carver and Reaper. Carver, Reaper, you know what I mean. Carver and Decayer. And then top floor for Construct for the time being. I'm not going to invest in Construct, but we're going to move fairly quickly on that. Spikes should be okay, actually. This should be fine, depending on our draw order. Alright, we're going to be playing bottom floor here. We're going to load this up. Great. Now, I do actually think playing the Construct would be nice, but I actually really do need to kill an enemy here, so we're going to prioritize that first here. He's big. That's great. I'm going to put damage down. I'm going to blast the guy downstairs. I'm going to... This guy really took no damage on me, which is not what we like to see. Rough. Push damage in him at least. Do some number, or give him some reap, which does something. But... yeah, unfortunately, bottom floor doesn't look good either. Yeah, I did this all wrong, actually. Don't even bother. I need to, now that I'm seeing how dangerous this is and what we drew, what I should have done is recognize this play chief into top, right? And then pummel this guy downstairs a little bit. And then we ping out here for big numbers. We get this, we play him in, it's decent. We blast in the back. And now we are looking a little bit better, able to actually kill something. It doesn't look great, I'll admit, and I do have to play a bunch of random incants into this guy, but we're doing our best, I would say. Alright, we're doing our best. This guy absolutely crunches me for a good chunk, but Pyre Wall does work. And now the hope here is that we should be okay. I can Bounding Echoes my morsels here, which is pretty okay. And then we should be able to actually kill this guy. Yeah, we do. Great. Okay, and he's chowing down. Excellent work. Our whole goal here is push big number, kill guy, Bounding Echoes back. Honestly, the big Antumbra thing to kill him. And our whole thing is push morsels in. Great. Kills him. Good. We're doing multipliers. We don't actually kill this guy. He lives with 7 health. Bummer. Okay, Jackstrips kills them. Great. Get some damage scaling here. Okay, we're looking alright. It's not ideal, but that's okay. I think we have enough to get through this combat at least. We do. So, alright. 100 shards is pretty terrifying into Ring 4, but we managed to only take 32 damage. I will take Worn Grindstone, seems good. I will also take a Return Soul with purple in it, that's good too. We like it. Void Binding I can put on morsels, so I'll take that. And I'll always have morsels, so there's that as well. We're going to go look for a multi-strike. We take some health. Fine. Large Stone, not it. Quick, still not it. Monster Train, how could you? I have to wait until post-Arcus now. Okay. Yikes. Alright, another intrinsic angle. What is your intrinsic today? It's a good question. What is your intrinsic today? I don't know. Removals here are tough. It's Plinks, I think. It's gotta be Plinks. It's gonna be one Antumbra Assault, and then Plinks. Okay, I need to take pretty much everything here, so assume we're gonna do it. I'm going to go ahead and spell chain the Return Soul that's purple. And I'm going to go ahead and intrinsic another Space Prism. As weird as it seems. Now, 140, 150, 175. Unless I take a random unit for an Alloyed Construct infusion or dupe a couple times. Now, unfortunately, we're a little bit crammed for multi-strike, so I do think we're in a bit of a position where I need to play this Alloyed Construct now. So let's toss him a plus 25, I guess, and he can help out, honestly. So here we go. That's Monster Train. Spell Shield doesn't frighten me. This is actually not a great situation to be in. It is winnable, right? It is winnable, but it's not ideal. I can play this middle, right? And then I think I have to play the construct here. Okay. Made some progress here. Okay, fine. Here comes this lad. He can at least get some scaling. I wish to make purples on middle. I think that's pretty important. We're going to pop a dude upstairs so I get that morsel. And also so I get some more morsels. Rather, not to get the morsel, but get the collector. Okay. Our goal here is every single purple card, pretty much, needs to be played so that I can maybe, hopefully, actually kill an enemy. Seems decent. Are we actually able to push numbers upstairs? I do believe we are incredibly able to do it. Fantastic. Let's work on middle. I'm going to take the shelter here. And most of this does not matter. Sure. Managed to kill the guy upstairs, which should continue to be true. I do need to play a morsel middle or we're going to have a bad day, as it were. So let's plan on... Okay, we managed to live here. Now, unfortunately, this particular morsel will die, but that's going to have to be okay. Let's burn the fracture now. Okay, sure. We unfortunately do lose a morsel, buddy. I do need to keep my floor among the living. I would like to... How would I like to progress this? It doesn't feel very good. Let's go ahead and burn a card here. And then we're going to burn another card here. I'm going to go ahead and play a fracture into the boss. We're going to bring back the return soul. Part of this is because I want armor here, right? So we're doing our absolute best here. Sure. Okay. It's not ideal. We can pop this guy in front, though, which is nice. Tons of morsels. Good. So every morsel provides a lot of value in a pretty big way. So let's plan on playing as many of them as we can. Every single morsel that gets eaten pushes numbers. Okay, we managed to push a decent chunk of numbers here. All the stealth is through and he gets reaped out. I don't know if we actually win. We come pretty darn close, actually. Actually, he swings and does 2 damage to me. You know what? Fair enough, Monster Train. We'll take it. I'm out on 2. That's fine. Alloyed Construct, my guy, is important to the run accidentally. We don't do enough damage. Take the Soul Crushing Guilt. Cave In, Prism Retrieval, Cannibalize. I don't need these cards, no. Whew. Okay, that's Monster Train. Am I going to the right or to the left? There's a lot of good stuff one could see from a trinket shop. A lot of good stuff. Or magic shop, which says what? -1s. I do like those. 20 consumes. I also like those. We have a lot of money. I'm going to go to this trinket shop, though. I like that. See what we hit here. In case Divinity, Commemorative Spike, Shadow Box. I'm going to take Serrated Mandibles here. Iron Drop Cage is not a terrible pick if we find another cave-in. Reroll here. Hell's Banners generates tons of Ember for us thanks to Shade Lamp. Echo Seedling probably can be forced to give us good value. And then we get to remove trash, which I suspect simply has to be planks right now. They're not terrible because they're purple, but I think they're not good either. Okay, we move on. Now, hopefully we eventually see a multi-strike. I feel like my whole incant strategy is kind of garbage right now. Okay, we're going to play some stuff here. Alright. Gonna play the Alloyed Construct, which lets me generate a lot of this. 3, he can play 4 now. I mean, this is basically all the space you could possibly want in the world. So that's kind of cool. I was hoping that would actually hit the front dude, but it actually works out well here. We're going to play the Warden friend. I'm going to drop a Umbra morsel in front. We're going to go ahead and give the purple to the morsel, so it takes the Absolver hit comfortably. And then we get to return soul, that Void Binding back to do it again so I can get more reap on this particular floor. Now, how important some of these are, great question. I don't know. We will find out today. And go ahead, we're just going to reap a whole bunch here, actually kill this enemy. Guess I'm going to shoot the boss. And then what? I don't really care if I lose a morsel or something. It's fine. Sure. We're looking okay, right? I want to get the purple on this Umbra. Well, I think pinging and then getting the 4 here is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty excellent. And now we can put some purples into the boss, which I appreciate. This is good. Okay, so the whole angle here now is, how does one defeat the boss? Now, this would have been a great turn for something else, but alas. I'm just going to play it out for purples here. And then we're going to... It doesn't actually need to be dazed, right? We're just going to blast the floor with these purple cards to apply purples to apply reap to the boss, right? Do big number. I'm not going to play the Soul Crushing Guilt. It's going to be the damage shield that pushes these numbers through. So this guy's looking pretty rough here. We're clearing bottom floor now. Okay, so with that in mind, let's just purple up the boss. The Serrated Mandibles is doing excellent work here. Sure, damage shield is your friend. Play more reap onto the boss. Every little bit adds a lot of value. And we should crush here, right? Yeah, he dies. And it's not even particularly close. Wow, we actually super win here. In kind of a weird fashion. We do plenty of damage on the floor. If I can see a multi-strike, this is going to feel a lot better. So here's hoping. Shroud Spike is pretty great, actually. I'm going to take that. Card draw? I think it's card draw now that I have the Hell's Banners, which is great. We have double card draw. Fantastic. This is a Divine Artifact, which says... Divine Chain of Gems. I'm actually just going to sell this. I don't think the extra stuff there is going to help all that much. I am going to look one last time for a multi-strike. It's an endless. Fantastic. Let's re-roll it. Okay. Alright. Multi-strike is good. Now, I'm going to keep Alloyed Construct. Or do I feel like that multi-strike answers it for me? Oh gosh, he's tiny now too. That's fun. Cool, that means I can play mid-floor Divinity, which is actually great. Now that he's tiny. That was a really good floor for me. Hit the multi-strike, hit the tiny stone. We love to see it. Okay, now... I need to take upgrades here. So it's unlikely I'm going to hit... Right. It's unlikely for me to hit the thing I'm really interested in, which is... What? I have to take these, so I don't really have a choice. Don't really have a choice. I guess we're going to make a 20 piercing hosting kin. It's better than the Plink approach. Spell Chain. I'm going to go ahead and Spell Chain the Bounding Echoes here, I think. Which is acceptable, I believe. You could put this in the Void Binding. I'm going to have to go to the dupe coming up. So it's with the Magic Shop. So I could do that and put it on Void Binding Spell Chain on morsels in front, which is surprisingly durable. I actually like that a lot. Okay. We get to cut some trash. It's just going to be Plinks again. Okay. Dark Forge. Big Decayer energy. Let's go. We're chilling. And moving on. Cool. Okay, now we might end up actually, for anyone keeping track, I think we might end up at 195 shards, but that's why we target around 200 shards. We haven't been hankering for this in a while. Now I am going to play top floor here, because I can kill the whole floor, and I can play a sacrificial alloyed construct, right? To get all of these played out, which is a ridiculous amount of space. Crazy amounts of space. Just obnoxious amounts of space. Great work. Okay. We then play a morsel. Get the man in front, which is great. I'm going to blow up a guy in middle. I'm going to blow up a guy because I want the money. I'm going to take Trample Stone upstairs. I'm going to play purples up top. And we're just going to load up on morsels here. It's great news. Cool. Good. And now it's all purple all the time, right? 100% purple. If I'm not playing a purple card, I've done something wrong. Interesting. I think I'm going to swing this, play that, and then with 2 turns, guy dies. Yeah, okay. I had to run the quick math in my head there. So here we're going to go ahead and drop a whole bunch of little ads, right? Which does activate a lot of value. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we can reasonably just slam the spike here. It's pretty darn good, admittedly. But I do think we need to actually play cards. Right? This is something I just think I need to do because of specifically that dude in the middle. Then we can spike and clear the floor and be okay with this, right? I needed to make sure I was actually doing enough damage to defeat some of those enemies. So, unfortunately, here we are. I'm going to put a morsel in front. This works out in my favor because I can just void binding the heck out of the morsel, which is free real estate, I think. I'm going to go ahead and bring back some trash. I should probably take some of this stuff. Seems decent. We'll just burn some cards here. It's good to kill some enemies on middle, I think. So it'll stop a million hits from coming in, which is good. Great work. I get to play it again with the huge damage shield in front, which I'm a big fan of. Great. Killing enemies is your friend. Let's return soul something here. Great job. We actually hit the guy in front, which was the goal. Clears a lot of those waves. Fantastic. Now, I can just keep doing this, which is pretty neat, I think. I'm going to go ahead, play some Reap downstairs. This is good. Daze as well. And then we can bring things back, which are pretty good to do. Right? Pop, pop, pop. Go ahead and bring the Return Soul. We'll bring back the Soul Crushing Guilt. Still kill the whole floor. Guy walks up. I take 5, but I was focusing downstairs, and I'm okay with that. Great. I think we're okay. Running out of ammo, actually. So, let's, I guess, just keep playing some of these things. I'm going to go ahead and bring back that card to make it free. And then sit on these, I think. And then we'll redraw it. And with nothing else in my deck, there's really not much else to do. But here we are. That's basically the entire deck. And we win. Great job. Took a little bit of damage there because I was maybe over considering the actual boss, but it worked out in my favor. You want more space? Crucible extension? No, I'm going to skip that. Fine. Going to the left, we're going to take the Horde here. Fossilized Fangs, I can't say no to. Seems good to me. That's a great hit, in my opinion. Split Anvil's also pretty decent. Yeah, we can't generate... what's it called? I can't generate 20 here, right? 15, 10, 15. There was a possibility, but I didn't roll it. So we're just going to generate 15, and that's going to be okay, right? What's a better approach? I wonder if I should bring a second Warden to the run. Does that help? It does do more damage. It is another number, which I like. He's tiny too, which makes this work pretty well. Oh, Light's Gift is pretty tempting. The biggest problem will be keeping the morsel alive, right? I'm kind of leaning towards not playing it. I don't think it's Light's Gift. Tempting, but I don't think so. Holdover. I wonder. Actually, I think the play is I want to put a -1 on the Void Binding, though. That should be cheaper by a good chunk. That's well worth it. The +10, I don't think it matters. Holdover here. You could hold over the Return Soul, and it's pretty decent, but we're already pretty low on cards. I don't know about that. I think I'm going to re-roll this shop. Lightstone Casing. Now, does that give me a holdover? You could hold over the Void Binding, which would be actually really funny and pretty decent if I'm generating Ember through Shade Lamp and Hell's Banners. You want to do that? That seems fun. Sure. That seems like an enjoyable time. Cool. Good card. Card is good. Now I do need to take 15 here. What is the grab? The grab is probably... it's the strongest card here. Void Binding, actually, unironically. It's a little hard to play all of them. That's true. It's a little tricky to play all of these. Do I have another -1 in here? Yes, I do. I sure do. Let's take that. I want to make Antumbra Assault free. That's important. And I am actually going to permafrost then the Shroud Spike, I think, to line it up with the Forgotten trade, which is pretty cool. Our dupe here, I'm leaning towards this Antumbra Assault. We can do a lot of work with this. There's a lot of cool things we can do in general. The Void Binding's probably the strongest play. The Carver is not bad, though. Like, just being clear, having a second one of these guys is pretty good. I'm going to be funneling Void Bindings into the front guy, but at the same time, they do still scale. It is still +2. It does still start at 50 damage, and it is beefy. So there is that as well. The Alloy Construct is simply going to pass away, which is fine as well, right? Void Binding's pretty good. I'm going to take the Antumbra Assault here. Cool. Alright, removal-wise, I don't really know what I want to even cut, right? I think I can get rid of one of these Return Souls, the less good one. I actually feel like we have a lot of clearing of our deck here. I could just end the Alloyed Construct, actually. You know what? He can actually go. I'd rather draw the Carver on turn 1. I think that's going to be the angle. And yeah, 195 out of 100, we go. It's cool. Okay. Alright, let's see. We should have this, right? We just go... Tiny Warden. Generate Ember. We Echo Seedling the very good, extremely strong one. We have an obnoxious amount of space here. More than I think I reasonably can actually use, which is extremely funny for anyone keeping track. That's pretty cool. And now I just slam Void Bindings, right? I think I am going to Umbra Stone instead here and chill. This generates morsels, which will generate Hell's Banner value. So you'll see what I mean. It's like, oh no, you have no Ember. What are you doing? But we managed to, we pull it off. We blast this man in front. I'm going to go ahead and hit that Return Soul. Let's pump numbers. Very cool. Keep generating numbers. I'm going to take the Purge copy here. We're going to put that in front. Great. Let's begin hitting bad dudes. Do damage. End turn. Okay. Now, I do kind of want to make sure that I'm only killing on my turn, which does matter. So, let's keep that in mind. If I ping out this dude, for instance, I don't generate the Ember next turn, but I think it's actually okay here, in my opinion. Especially because it hits me a very good morsel. I'm going to go ahead. It is in my best interest to play the purples out first because I have the Forgotten trade here. This trades well. I then go Forgotten trade, and I spike the Miner for ridiculous numbers. Although I actually think you shelter first, then we spike the Miner, right? Yeah, that's worth it. Great job. We have a billion damage shield. We win this combat, and we get to eat and do 800 and something damage. The trample looks really good when you can do something like that. So, great. Cool. I feel good about this. Now, you see here, don't have the ability to play the Purge copy, but I can still pop things here, generate this, and look okay. Then I can play the Purge copy. Then I can generate some Reap on a different floor, and we're good. Right? I also have double Gorge triggers, by the way, so I generate a lot of damage shield here. Now, this is a not-so-great turn, right? I don't have any tools. I don't want to burn this. So that's a pretty much nothing turn. It's a good thing my unit does 1,000,000 damage. Certainly helps. Now, this is a Bounding Echoes play, if I've ever seen one. Generate some Ember, play the cards out. Great work. Let's reap a different floor here. Keep hitting the boss. It's worth it. I will actually inflict the daze there. I think it's okay. See, it's going to tick down, but I might be able to actually keep the number up. So we'll try. Generate numbers. Go crazy. And then we're going to try to reap out some stuff here. Good. I wanted to kill that big scary guy. Just because he does 3 hits. Even if we have enough damage shield and things that it won't really matter. Well, unfortunately, the daze actually does wear off tragically. So, that is what it is, I suppose. Let's keep generating purples, though, right? I think that's going to be pretty cool. Blast this guy. We're just pushing numbers, right? And the numbers are good. Every hit is like hundreds of damage. So, that's pretty strong. Now, here we easily win this, right? There's actually no concern about it. You play the Void Binding here. Great job. We're going to go Soul Crushing Guilt him. I'm going to bring back and burn the Soul Crushing Guilt, which almost certainly represents more value here. Cool. And he's extremely dead. Good job. Now the Reap is helping a ton. This is not a run that I feel like wins without the Reap support, but it is looking pretty good otherwise. We should have a similar go against Divinity, I think. But we are going to be playing on middle floor, right? Yes. You may ask why. I think it's probably obvious why. I simply need to make sure that I'm able to Do not self-play that. I don't want to burn that card. Don't play the Forgotten Trade. I want to make sure I can buy a little bit of time. I don't want this to be a turn 2 activity. Now, this is a pretty dicey play. Yikes. Huh, okay. I think we have to do... Unfortunately, I think we have to send the spike right now, or we lose. Yeah, unfortunate, but I think we have to do it. So, okay. It was a terrible turn for anyone keeping track, but we are out doing okay. Now, I'm going to have to work a little bit at this because I do feel like we are a little bit behind. I fortunately have the Void Binding here, which is helping me out now. We have the Trample on lock. I'm going to work a little bit on this next floor, I think. But I actually really need to focus up here. Punch this man to the best of my ability. A lot of damage coming in, but I think we're going to do it. I'm going to let that man walk, I think. Right? He hits me, and it's just going to have to be okay. Who's killing you? Oh, bummer. It's the Spikes loser. We hate to see it. I do think I need to pop that for better or worse, which is not my favorite thing. We're going to go ahead and Void Binding up here. I'm going to have to burn the Forgotten Trade in order to kill this floor, which we do successfully do. I'm going to pop the guy in front downstairs. We have plenty of morsels here. I'm going to let the guy get hit. Upstairs. There you go, bud. We'll waste one of your lifesteals. How does that feel, you loser? Okay, fine. Guy hits me. Alright, we have Pyre Wall. It's okay. Alright, now... Unfortunately, don't have much in the way of options. I must burn an Antumbra Assault to generate the morsels, right? So that I can play my other cards, which are mission critical to winning. Let's burn a Fracture here. Great job! We did it! We're gonna burn another Fracture here and push numbers and eat some pyre damage. We do manage to defeat this guy. Great work. Good job. Okay. Now I'm kind of a little bit on the back burner here. I have to keep pinging enemies in order to have a shot here. This is going to be a very strong turn because I had the Bounding Echoes with morsels, which is great. So that's cool. Even hits that Vengeful Shard, which does good work. I'm going to daze the boss because there's really no reason not to push something there. And I think we'll just push numbers. Go for scaling. Okay, great. We're doing something. We got a Spikes dude coming up. Terrible news. What's in here? Is it burn the Antumbra Assault time? It could be. What else could I pull back? Play a purple card. Let's burn a Fracture instead. I think we're okay. If I let this walk on me, we'll be fine. I want to try to save that for the next turn. I want to try to save that play for here. But also because we generate morsels here like this, this works out pretty well for us. Play purple cards. Do tons of damage. I kind of feel like this guy's walking and doing, what, 12? 24? I'll take it. It's fine. I'm kind of feeling like, do I burn? I think we have to, right? For better or worse, I think I do absolutely have to burn cards here. I don't want it to be the Void Binding. I really don't want it to be the Void Binding. Eesh, not good. Was hoping that number would check out a little better here. Okay, he walks on me. He could end this run. He's doing what, 22? 3 rounds. I have 3 rounds to finish this man. Okay, we play Morsel 1, Morsel 2 here. Generate Ember. Play the 1 Void Binding. Great. Okay. Let's shoot this guy. Every Reap does work. Let's bring back that Umbra Assault. Shoot him again. Fracture, he's out. Alright. Good. That's promising. Yeah, that's promising. And then we simply play cards, and I think we actually do win now, which is great. Whew, okay. I think we have it. Fantastic. Look at that. Incredible news. We did it. And I drew obnoxious numbers of Weight of Contritions here. I mean, we knew they were in the deck, but dang, that does suck. Managed to push these through pretty quickly. Some days gives us free turns. We win. Okay. Dicier than I think anyone wanted. I think it's very clear that I needed to play middle, so I'm glad that I did. But still pretty rough, all things considered. Still pretty rough. So, whew, alright, but we have a victory, and that is what matters. I don't think that changes much at 200. The number goes up, the damage of the enemy a little bit, but it's not a lot. I would have been pretty close to 200. It doesn't really matter. I don't think this 5 shards changes pretty much anything in the real combat. It's maybe 1 damage on 1 unit, maybe like 20 health on a mini-boss. But we were overkilling on that last turn by a little bit, so all good. This was a kind of a weird run. It's a run that barely makes it, but I do feel pretty good about the Void Binding angle, seeing this and then going, hey, wait, doesn't this get there? That's good. I think the second Umbra Assault was actually pretty clutch. This card actually did really well, which is basically generated morsels and did a truckload of damage and was free. So huge shout out to Lightstone Casing for making that possible. But the real winner here has got to be the Shade Lamp Hell's Banners angle. Serrated Mandibles did good work too, but that combo of Shade Lamp and Hell's Banners to generate me Ember, even when I didn't have Perils of Production angle here is, you know what, I'm going to say it pretty great. So that's fantastic. Crucible Warden, I think, was an important pick. I'm pretty sure Warden would have gotten run over pretty hard here, and would have also wasted his lifesteal pretty quick. So, yeah, so I think Collector is a little bit weaker than Warden. He can get the job done, but when I need him to be doing the multi-striking, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad we did find that, by the way. Otherwise, I probably would have had to go into Alloyed Construct somehow. So, yeah, fair enough. I don't have a ton else to say. Huge shout out to Umbra Assault and the big Wombo combo for Ember generation, and just insane amounts of space. Truly an obnoxious amount of space. But yeah, it's great. It ended up mattering. I mean, we didn't end up actually needing it since he got tiny in the end. In a way, I even considered making him huge, right? He could have maybe gotten away with major refraction. I should have maybe considered that a little more. Would I have been fine? Let me think about this. I have, what, 4 space middle. I get 2 copies of this, which each give 2. So I generate, what? I have 2 copies already, so I generate 8 space, so I have 12 space. So 9, and then he would have been 4, so 5 space remaining, right? A 3 plus a 4 is 7. And then, yeah, 5 space remaining. Well, yeah, I could have played all the morsels out still. So actually, I should have made him huge. But it's worth noting that there's also a world where I duped him instead. So I'm not mad that I gave myself the flexibility. It wouldn't have been possible with the major refraction, right? But him being beefier would have been nice. Would have been nice. So in the way I ended up going, it would have, you know, in hindsight, it's 2020, I should have major refracted him, which is hilarious to think about. Anyway, not much else to add. A pretty decent run, and I will let y'all go there. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching this. I really appreciate your time. As always, you can give the video a like if you want. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and stay tuned for what's next. Take care, folks.